In a world where everything is racist, we can add one more thing to that list: protecting elections. There's probably nothing more high stakes than an American national election. We are the leaders of the free world. When we decide who leads us, it is a major moment. The amount of power at stake is mind-boggling. It's worth trillions and trillions of dollars. And with all that in play, Democrats want as little security as possible. In this country, you need ID to buy a pack of cigarettes or adopt a stray cat. But the left says voter ID requirements are voter suppression. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp defended his newly signed bill today.
With Senate Bill 202, Georgia will take another step toward ensuring our elections are secure, accessible, and fair. Georgians will no doubt be soon overwhelmed with fancy TV ads, mailers, and radio spots attacking this common sense election reform measure. In fact, left-wing groups funded by out-of-state billionaires are already doing that now.
They certainly are, but before we get to all that, here is what's in this bill: requiring voter ID for absentee ballots, which eliminates the need for signature verification, which we all know was barely happening in Georgia last year; expanding in-person early voting; securing ballot drop boxes by making sure they are located only inside election offices and early voting locations, so they're not just in liberal areas, which we saw last year as well; ending portable poll sites, and that's it. So much racism, right? The left enraged, as usual, but here's the cold hard truth. The bar you need to reach to be able to vote in this country is extremely low. If anyone is racist, it's Democrats, who are alleging their minority base can't manage the simple process of registering to vote and then voting. As it stood prior to last year, the process was great. Just enough hurdles to prove you're an actual human being, citizen of this country, and there's only one of you. Again, the stakes are extremely high. Make voting too simple and you welcome in fraud, and everybody knows it, including Democrats. As for all the left-wing money opposing this, enter Mark Elias, a former Clinton campaign lawyer who actually paid Fusion GPS to compile the fraudulent Russia dossier on Donald Trump. So, of course, he's very credible. He's leading several lawsuits around the country to expand vote by mail, and no shock he was on Rachel Maddow last night.
Tonight, we're filing a lawsuit on behalf of the New Georgia Project, Black Voters Matter, and RISE, a student organization, because we know that these laws are all aimed at disenfranchising Black voters and also young voters.
It's always about race. Democrats agreeing. Elizabeth Warren tweeting out, the Republican who is sitting in Stacey Abrams' chair. Yeah, that's how she started it off. Just signed a despicable voter suppression bill into law to take Georgia back to Jim Crow. To take Georgia back to Jim Crow. Or do you hear these people? The Senate must pass the For the People Act and John Lewis Voting Rights Act immediately. Our democracy is at stake tonight. Warren. 3 years later, and they still say that Stacey Abrams won. Credibility on this issue, of course, is oozing from the left, isn't it? On the other side, Donald Trump saying this: congratulations to Georgia and the Georgia State Legislature on changing their voter rules and regulations. Too bad these changes could not have happened or been done sooner. And the current president said this during his press event yesterday.
I'm convinced that we'll be able to stop this because it is the most pernicious thing. This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle.
Who's Jim Eagle, by the way? And again, why do Democrats think their voters are so inept they can't figure out basic voting requirements? Really makes you wonder. President Biden doubled down, issuing this statement this morning. This is Jim Crow in the 21st century. I mean, their statements are unreal. It must end. We have a moral and constitutional obligation to act. I once again urge Congress to pass the For the People Act and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. And there it is. Jim Crow. I mean, can you imagine? Here's the real story. All they really care about is power, right? They just want to win. And they know the more lax the law is, the better they do. Simple calculation on their part. The Jim Crow laws of the late 1800s and first part of the 20th century, of course, were awful. They standardized racial segregation in this country. Comparing this to that is so stupid, it's painful. And we have to listen to this. That's the state of politics in this country. If we ID people getting on a plane, is that now racist? ID for a beer, racist? Any kind of measure asking for a small amount of responsibility, racist? It's amazing. And now the left is applying pressure to try and make Georgia pay economically for passing a voter security law. and they're getting sports and woke corporations to try and do their dirty work for them. Today, the MLB Players Association threatened to move this summer's All-Star game from Atlanta after the Georgia election reform bill passed. You think they really care? Hell no. They're just scared of cancel culture if they don't say something like this. Activists in Georgia are organizing a boycott of Coca-Cola for not opposing the Georgia election bill. That's why MLB's doing it, because Georgia didn't, and they're getting hounded by the woke nut jobs. It's such a joke. And then there's Stacey Abrams, who revealed the true intentions of the Democratic Party during her testimony in front of the House last month. I'll read you this. This body can and must respect the differences in states and allow them to decide how best to administer elections to meet the specific needs of its people. However, modern election laws demand a basis of uniformity, key word there, to ensure election integrity. Uniformity. That's what this is all about. Democrats want to federalize our elections through the H.R. 1, now S1 bill, which has passed the House, now being taken up in the Senate. Here's a look at that, banning voter ID altogether. So, no voter ID. Same-day voter registration, automatic voter registration, increasing mail-in ballots. Missouri Senator Roy Blunt says S1 would prevent states from maintaining their voter rolls as they see fit.
Why would that bill, removing dead people from the voter rolls based on Social Security information, be voter suppression?
Because there are frequently errors in the lists.
Your view would be the federal government is not capable of telling the state which Social Security recipients died and no longer get a check, so we should turn the entire election over to a federal structure. I just don't agree.
Senator Blunt, can we...
Meanwhile, President Biden also spoke with reporters before leaving Washington for the weekend, indicating he might not wait for Congress to act.
Is there anything the White House can do to protect voting rights in Georgia?
Well, we're working on that right now. We don't know quite exactly what we can do at this point. The Justice Department is taking a look as well.
Notice the question from the left-wing reporter. I mean, it's already baked in that this is obviously racist voter suppression. How are you going to take care of this obvious problem we have? It's already baked in. They've already created a narrative, and then he's going to ask a question about it. This is how the media works now. It's already racist and voter suppression. No, it's not. That's how they ask a question. It's a joke. Another potential executive action by King Biden, infringing on states' rights. That's what he's indicating. But hey, if it's racist, like this obviously is, right, then it's justified. You can do anything if it's racist. And now you understand why everything in this country is suddenly racist.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.